Just talk normal, see how good the volume is. Just say something so then we can hear what the volume's like.
Just say anything.
You want to say, my name is Raymond C. Whiteman, and I live at such and such a place, and
Okay.
Ben.
Today we are talking to Ray Whiteman. No, Ray, what war or branch of the service did you serve in?
First one?
Yeah.
Okay. In 1945, I was drafted, and what they did is I went to Fort Sheridan, and when these gentlemen were coming back from the, coming back from Europe, and a lot of things were wrong with them, arms, legs, feces, where you take it out, legs, eyes, some of them didn't have any ears, that nature, and then they sent me to Keesler Field, Mississippi, where I become a corpsman and a medics, and we had different panels where we had 6 to 10 people, and we took care of those people in various different items that had to be done. Like I told you before, you got to place it like this. You put your head down there, the anus up here, and his feet down here, and we put a big tube in there to see if he had any polyps or anything of that nature. We give him, first of all, I had to train the nurses on oranges. You know, when you get a needle and you put it in, and you do that type of thing. And that's for a lot of gonorrhea and syphilis at that time. That's why we're teaching them. And then penicillin just come in there at 600,000 units in order to do that. And each morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning, a dirty old man like me, I'd get one of those needles, you know, like that, but it looked like that. And them colored people used to get up and run like the devil. But we had them clean, and some of them were getting very psychotic, so they would pretend to get on a motorcycle and go from here to there. And a lot of them wanted 69, that's mean a discharge. Well, anyway, give a long story short, we took care of the people coming back from both sides of the country, Japan in there, but the ones that we had that were very serious, we had a clinic not too far from us, and we used to take them down there and back. And we also had the pleasure of taking care of, I think there was 25 different young ladies, we call them WAFs, and we had that. And we did the same thing to them. And I had the short arm. You know what short arm means? Mm-hmm. When you had to come out and check them for gonorrhea or syphilis at 4 o'clock in the morning, they had a helmet on and they had a ring on, and you went out with a slide, and you take a dauber, you know, and just go inside their vagina or on their penis and take it off the end of the weenie, or whatever you want to call it. And then you would give that to the doctors to see if they had any type of disease or things of that nature. I know. It was so smooth and fast, you know. From there on in, you want me to go on? That's all World War II, and that was all affiliated with people who were sick and coming back, and we would get them to a bigger hospital if they had any limbs gone or any hands gone or anything like that. That's what was happening. Now, to make a long story short, I was there and I got trichomatosis. You know what that is?
No.
That's the athlete's foot. What they did to me, they put Vaseline gauze on both of my feet, and then they put it in cotton bat, and then they put a big cloth around it, and I had to sit in a wheelchair for 2 weeks because they were so bad. It means that you're going into the swamp on different trails that we had to go 38 miles and come back, and things that we had to go through all that detail. So I trained those people, and I trained myself, of course, with that, but anyway, that's about the bulk of it for World War II. Now, as we go into different ones, you wanna go all through all of them?
Let's see. Where did you serve? Like you said, you went all over the world.
Yes. I've been in Korea, been in Okinawa, been in Japan, been in China, been in England, been in Finland, been in Morocco, been in Africa, Germany. About, if I would have brought all my stuff with me, I could have told you. No, I had a whole thing, and I had it all listed, but we had some very bad luck with one of our people in the Air Force, and he had a heart attack, and we've been going over there and trying to help him out. But anyway, in Korea, I was over there. I was in Japan, and then they sent me over to Korea, and I was like an auditor, like, you know, things like that. I went over there to check them out, see if they had, our people had sufficient amount to eat, their cleanliness. We had 3 big barns, you might say, full of toilet paper. And we give it to the Japanese because they didn't want those things, so we give them to the Japanese. I'd always check on them. Then I went back to Japan, where I was the comptroller of Iwakuni, Japan. You know what a comptroller is? You?
No, not really.
This, what it is really accounting and finance, and you're, overall, you got travel pay and hospital pay, and you take care of all the different items that are financial wise. I had $325 million every quarter, and that had to deal with all the aircraft that was in Japan, and we would make out different reports every month, and that would encompass well, you have a budget, same thing. What I used to do is jack it up 10% so I know I get what I want. But it's a living thing, you know. Korea was just off and on, back and forth, and I just got a award, Veteran Service Award, Combat Service Award, and I wasn't in combat, say that, but I was there. The Rooks, the Republic of Korea, and those guys would go up 38, 40 miles a day, you know, and come back. They were nice people. My brother was in 75th Parallel, and they never had nothing at all. They'd get their, if they want something to drink, you might say alcoholic, like beer or something like that, they'd throw through cans of beer at them. Well, I got them a case of whiskey and I brought it up there. They had a good time. But they were only about from here to that wall. The river was here, and the northern Rooks were over there, and we sat here, and that's what they did. And I got to know Bob Hope, Francis Langford, and all those different people for USO show, and brought them up there, and we got acquainted with them. So many things that I could tell you, but I mean, you're gonna go on to link that, how much time you got with them. Okay, Okinawa was another breed of cats, Naha, where the submarines were, and on the other end, they had also submarines there. And we took care of the Marines, the Army, the Air Force. That was only 70 miles long and 10 miles wide. And what we did there is, like anybody else, we took care of the people as far as their money, as far as we had a hospital, a small one, and they had a lot of sports. But what they were doing is using safety, and our people that were there to guard the isthmuses coming through there. In other words, if we have any attack by any other country of any nature, we'd have the submarines come out, we had aircraft in there going out on there, and we used to use script. You know what I'm talking about, script? Okay, that's what I want to, scrip is money. You know, it's just like our money, but they do it just like a dollar bill, but they don't have any coin or nothing like that. Well, the Japanese have yen about that big, and they condense it, you know, to a smaller thing. But we call them bad boys. The Koreans would come in and steal things from our different functions. So one day we found out we had over 100,000 pieces of script gone. So we got a hold of them and brought it back, and one of our people that work in the area where they can deal with steel and deal with cement and things of that nature. They took a thing like that in a hole, they put all that money in there, and they took it way out in the ocean there, and they dumped it. We thought it was gone forever. 2 days later, it showed up. So you just never know what's going on. But see, that's part of our money of the United States. That's our tax money, your dad and mom's tax money, and things of that nature. England was a real nice place because I met Amy there. No, I was again accounting and finance and dealt with a lot of different bases over there, and we went to G2 Intelligence. We got to go there and work with them, and I got taught a lot of things. Amy was a diddy-dum-dum operator like I was years ago, but she decoded different things over there. Let's see, what have... Well, let's put the sports in there, okay? I had a fast pitch team on every base, and I'm very fortunate to been a top dog. Our guys were really good. We took, my daughter was with me, and she was 9 years old in England before I met Amy, and we took them over to Finland. We put on an exhibition softball game over there, and that was really nice because the Finnish people were very nice to my daughter and to me too. Got to know the food and all that stuff. Was there anything else that I could go on a lot about different things, but it's not going to make a bit of difference here, I don't think.
Do you think that you were prepared when you had to go fight in the war? Or when you just left?
I was on the firing range. I had a 16, that's a piece, and I'd done a machine gun, all them sort of little things, but I never had to use it. But when I was over in Thailand, I carried a 38 Special because we went on up to Thailand, up to Bangkok, and we get 80 pieces, 80 sticks, that's $80,000. And what we do is come back and pay the troops. That is that, and we would go out in the jungle, but we'd have people with them who knew what they were doing, because there's a little snake about that big, kill you in 20 seconds. And a rubber plantation is a Yule, that's a sapphire, and you can dig that out there. But there's different things that over there that I think I told you that one of the people, our captain, walked outside the gate, and the Thailandese took a hold of his shirt like that, shook him. He wanted that gun, and they said no, and the guy took it away and shot him anyway. So we had to be very careful with our twilight, you know, how long they were there and how long they weren't there. The food, I don't know. Kimchi is cabbage. It smells terrible. Rice over there is wonderful. They have a lot of shrimp and a lot of salmon, different types of fish. Before they're 26, beautiful girls, beautiful people. And afterwards they wrinkle up so much. And kamikaze cars over there, they're about that big. And before the war, they didn't care about anybody, and they'd go along the road and they'd knock somebody off and they'd stay there and nobody would pick them up. They were so ancient that when they had to do a lot of their feces stuff, they would have buckets about that big, and they'd put about 6 of them there, and the people would come along and they picked those up and they put them in the middle of the road, and they had places down there where they could use. Later on, they would take them up in the hills, and where they grew rice, where they grew cabbage and all that, they put that on there. They had they live well, but they get sick too, like anybody else.
I know you mentioned this before, but for the soldiers now, if you were one, would you be willing to go to
No.
Iraq? No?
I had 20 years, 1 month, and 14 days, and 29 seconds. I can't go anywhere.
Well,
I was discharged by disability.
I mean, like, if you were still, or one of the soldiers that we have now.
No.
You wouldn't?
Because of the fact, over there is, right now, it's getting better, but there's so many insurgents there, but as long as the people in Iraq, Iran, Syria, and all them would stick together, you know. I don't know if you ever read the Bible, but the fire will come down from the north, and I keep still looking at that aspect of whether that's gonna happen because of these people intermingling like that. But they go to one person that they like, the Hamad Ani, he's a great man, or another one's a great man, and they have different insurgents there. And places there, like Afghanistan, they have a king there too. So consequently, what you have to really look at is the overall aspect. What they've done and what they haven't done, what you feel that is right. But those people over there are protecting us. That's the thing that I am most avid with that. I'd go help them if they needed a finance man or a medic or something. I could do a medic. And I used to deliver kids too.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know, when you're in a place where you have the experience and you've done it, I operated on a guy too.
Wow.
Left a 4x4 and there, and the doctor come in the next day, he said, "Did a good job, but I think I better take that 4x4 out of you." I did. But things like that, you know, and there's so many things, like I say, I could tell you, but I don't think it's worth it, really. I could write a book. And then there'd be some naughty words in it. No.
How did you feel when you had to leave, like, your family and all your friends and everything where you were?
Well, I was drafted in 1945, and I wanted to go so bad because I lived with my dad and mother, didn't have a lot, and so I thought I would go, and I did. And I enjoyed that part. And as I went along, I got 2 different separations. In 46, I got out, went back in 50, got out in 54, and I stayed till 72, so that's how I got the 20 years. I went to Thailand, I backed out of there, went to China, went to Japan, and different things like that. But see, I was what they call a air inspector. And those guys go into different things and see if the people are doing what they're supposed to do by the book. You know that, you're working in school, and you learn different things. If they don't, you tell them what to do. An auditor's about the same thing, but they're doing with financial things, with money, you know. I had the opportunity to go to so many places outside of Japan, and Okinawa, and down to Mexico on the Riviera down there.
Yeah.
I just been 5 different places, not with the Air Force, but with the other outside job I had. But I did see in Japan, when I was at Iwakuni, we had a place where we had our accounting and finance. And they have a hall, and up in the hall they have a hook up there. And if these Japanese didn't do what they were supposed to do, they call it kamikaze, and they kill themselves. They did the same thing. That's an honor for them because of for what they did for Japan and so forth. But we had, I wish I could show you some of the pictures that this Japanese boy that worked for me, he took a lot of pictures of me. And I got over one of those things that sits out there in the water, and I was sitting by the island there, and he took a picture of that, and I got Oh, I gotta show you sometime. If I bring it out to the post, you go out there, why,
Yeah.
you'd enjoy that. Anything else?
Do you want to take a short break for a
Nope.
few minutes?
No,
Do you
sure.
want water or anything? A more current question. Your military experience, did it change, like, or has it still changed your perception of the way you look at things in life now?
A great deal, monetary-wise, financial-wise, and health-wise. We never had the sophistication in 1945 and 46, what they have today, different machines that save people's lives, and different types of pills and things that help them a great deal. And we have tourniquets that we never had before. We can check them, the blood very fast and get what's wrong with them. And if they can do anything to make them more stable, that helps there. The gurneys are a lot more than, they got wheels on them where we had to carry them two in front and two in back. And at the same time, they didn't even have a thing to put in their arm, you know, to save their life. You know, I keep forgetting the steak and eggs that they have over there. But there's so many things that in our world here, our people are getting to know what is bad over there, and they wouldn't want to live like that. You go to Japan, they're more civilized towards us than anything else, and China is their own China, and they want to be that way. But now they're stepping up. Because our country have given them a lot of money and a lot of opportunity to work some of our jobs over there, which should be here. But that's the idea of the Congress and those people there. They're the ones that have to make that decision, not you or I. I don't like what the present president's doing because he's just making a big decision, and if we don't, we go bankrupt.
During your time there, what one event or something made the biggest impact on you? Or do you remember the most?
Well, I think probably I married Amy. She's a great gal. No, I've been to so many big events. I'm trying to think of the aircraft. We got a picture of it out there, but two of our men were Navy people, and they helped sign the declaration between the war of Japan and United States. That's great. And I got to meet a lot of people through that, like the USO people. I enjoyed that very much. Some crazy people. I don't know if I had to go back, I would go back as a straight man or something in the USO to just keep them liberty up, you know, enjoying life.
Yeah.
But as far as guns are concerned, it's not me. I'm a humanitarian in the action of medical and financial, and that's basically my life.
Yeah.
And I help people. This Air Force Sergeant that we help people and our veterans and their families, make sure they got enough to eat, they got food, or if we take stuffed animals to different constabularies, and we give the policemen and firemen stuffed animals, so when there is a wreck, these kids could have something like that.
Yeah.
Or in Thanksgiving and Christmas and other things of that nature, why we make sure they have sufficient. And now we take 30 veterans from home.
Teachers, please excuse the interruption.
Well, anytime like I said, if you have any ideas later on, because there's a lot in this brain of mine, it'll surface one.
Yeah. One more question. When you returned home, what was that like for you? I mean, knowing that you were going home and...
When?
Oh, that's right. You went home several times. Okay, well, every time. Did you know that you'd be going back, like the first time you went home?
I didn't think I was going, when I was in Japan, I didn't think I was going back to Thailand, I didn't think I was going to Korea. But because of the job that, and I'm not butting my own hole, but because I did a lot, made them 100% in different activities, you know, like they had to do in the different countries, our people, I trained them in that certain capacity. So I got a Air Force Commendation Medal and a Meritorious Service, plus the other things. But those are the two top ones that I enjoyed with the people, and that's all you got. And that's how the people that remain today are in better shape, I think, except in doing the Congress. People are not doing this right. I can't tell them what to do. Anytime you three want to go down there, and I was thinking later on, as the thing approaches different things during the fall or something like that, we'll get you to come down there, get about 20 people from this type of thing. But anytime that I'm going down there and you people want something for like a service job or something like that, you know, when our Air Force sergeants, we have a letter that we put out every year, and we have to fold them. And so it's only about a $3-4 job, but that'd be something if you want to know. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'd like to take you out there and see all them aircraft that we got there, and the old newsletters and things of that nature. And I appreciate you having me here, and it's very nice. Of course, I know her relation, but I know who his relation is now, but I can't yet. What's the last name again?
Grit.
Chris. Last name?
Grit.
Grits. Gritts?
Grit.
That's where I got messed up. No, I was on the, how about the, other than military? I was city manager here for 8 months. I was the, I did the U.S. Red Cross for 19 years out there at the post, and 19 years of the quartermaster out at the post. Had hair anyway. No, or if there's anything else that in your lifetime that you would like to come over and talk about this or anything else. Now, I am a quack lawyer, you know. I am. I got a law degree through the Sound.
Wow.
And I got a real estate and hidden. I don't want to use it anymore. I'm just more, and I do income tax. And so I'm just about through. I was doing 1,000, I'm down to about 10, and I'm about ready to shove that out too.
Yeah.
Because the IRS don't know what they're doing. Sorry about that.
Angela, do you have anything to ask?
I don't know.
There's someone back there.
You live in Concord?
Yes. Well, like in between.
Well,
Coolidge
not
and
too
Concord.
far from.
Yep.
Hmm. I don't know.
There's someone.
Is
I'm not hard to get along with, though. No.
You come here a lot?
Yeah, we did do a lot.
And the Arizona was the first one that went down, and one of my best friends lived over in Muskegon, and he was one of the ones that went down. That was one of the big shockers with me. I knew his brother and all the kids. We went to the same school, the same church, and things of that nature. I do go to church.
Did you have any specialized training, like before you went into the war, for anything?
The only specialized training I had was 38 weeks with your feet and all the pack on you, with a 16. I don't like pieces or equipment that kill people. I won't have one in my house either. But no, it's a tough job. And when we was under Red River, and I think I told you at night, and we'd be sliding along, it was so muddy, but there are so many snakes there, and that's what really grilled me out at lunch. But no, I didn't have any special training. The training I got is when I went to business school, and when I did the law degree, I did that all by myself. I took a 8-hour with getting a law degree. But see, the state of Michigan won't let me study. I do laws, but I do wills anyway. But now they won't let me because I do for senior citizens and don't charge them nothing. I do that for senior citizens with income tax too. Years ago I did it for money, but now it's to help them.
Did you do anything for like good luck when you were some away from home? Did you like have anything that was like good luck or?
Boy, you threw me a hammer there, because I could remember about 20 things. I met so many of the USO people that I would never meet, but Bob Hope and Francis Langford and Jerry Colonna and all them gentlemen and ladies. But, one thing that I thought was great, that when the Russian piloted the MiG into Korea, and our people, military people, wasn't Air Force, was the Army had over there. They had that dismantled in 15 minutes and on its way. I thought that was great to take away so we know what was going on. No, good luck was Amy.
I have a question. What was like every day? What was a day in like basic training? What did you do? on a
Basic
daily?
training, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and they'd have George here? No. Pete there? No. You know, you have 50 people out there, you know, and they'd have to say here, here, and if you weren't there, then you spent 8 hours walking the mat back and forth between the barracks, you know. That's a good idea, you know. Some of them had problems, and what we had to do is take them and do after hours, on-the-job training is what I call it. I had to do that at Kinchlow, up there, and it was 63 below zero, but that's what I always did. There's so many things that one thing up there, you could go out, I'm not a hunter, but you can go out there and see all the different type of animals and feed them, and they jump the highways and get killed, or you see, this ain't very nice, but one of the moose come down and stopped a greyhound up there on the tube going north. Didn't hurt nobody except the old moose. No, I've seen so much wolves and wolverine and different type of animals of that nature, as well as I've seen down south. But I can't go south anymore because I'm allergic to Spanish moss. And I can be in, I went down to get my mother and dad down there in Florida one time, and I was there 2 days, and I was on my way out. I can't take it. See, my face will get red, and the eyes will water, and then my nose will run. But that's why I got a disability from the service. And when I was in Thailand, I got air-vac out of there. Because 17 times in three days, I was in the hospital. So they jerked me. And then my wife couldn't find me for 3 days. Because this plane got to the United States and it was so foggy in the Scott Air Force Base, and they finally ended up at in North Dakota, near the International. Why not? Why not? That's what we call it.
You said you were in the Air Force.
Yes,
What was your job in the Air Force?
I was a comptroller. At one time, I was the head of accounting and finance. I did, I had to do this. You know, when you have bombs and things of that nature, well, we had every 80 hours a month, I had to do things of getting the people addressed to the fact that when they go out of this building here, you got a certain way to go and how far you go out. And you gotta be prepared that you know how to take the mask and use it, or any other thing that you had that would help you out with your lungs or things of that nature. We had to know everything about a bomb, or who would bomb, and that was 80 hours for 12 months I did that. And when I come up to different places, when I was city manager here, I set up a deal where they could have the same opportunity to get out of town, so it wouldn't hurt anybody. And like Amy said, I don't know if you've heard her talk or not, but she was over in England at the age of 6 when the bombing was going on and they'd have to go into the hideouts down below. Did you know that she was in India and her dad was a POW MIA? And on the way back, the boat that they were on, they went first and then they went afterwards, and the one in front of them, the Germans bombed that, and Amy was very fortunate that she didn't get killed. So I'm very lucky I'm here. I can thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Whiteman,
You
for
can call me
coming.
Ray, 'cause I'm a
You,
real sunshine.
Ray. Thank you.